President Bush celebrated Christmas with his family at Camp David in Maryland. With us here is CBS News Chief White House correspondent Leslie Stahl, who's been watching the White House reaction to Manuel Noriega's case. Leslie, the president has been saying all along that he wants Noriega to stand trial in this country. Defense Secretary Cheney has just reiterated that. Does that square with what's being said unofficially?
Well, privately, senior officials tell me that they just as soon he go to a third country and disappear. If he comes here, the trial, they say, would be a nightmare. He would begin to ask for classified documents, for CIA secrets. He has been involved with the CIA for years. He had some connection in the Iran-Contra scandal, maybe secrets about that. They have offered him a safe passage in the past. They have wanted him to leave in the past, and privately they say that just as soon he go away now. What is interesting, Dan, is that one of the other Panamanian military officers indicted along with Noriega turned himself into U.S. military officials in Panama, and he's being flown right now to the United States, so they will have at least one trial on their hands to contend with.
And what do you hear about the president's plans for the rest of the week? He's been scheduled to go on vacation, continues vacation in Texas and the rest of the South.
Well, as of right now, he's still going on vacation. Of course, they tell us he takes his ability to communicate at all times with him, but he is still supposed to be going on vacation.
Thanks, Leslie. Christmas was tinged with sadness today in Panama City for refugees made homeless by the U.S. invasion and also for the American soldiers away from home and family. David Dow has our report.
For nearly 2,000 newly homeless Panamanians, Christmas dawned in a refugee camp. The first Christmas in 21 years without dictatorship. They sang and celebrated Mass and cheered their new leaders, who found the setting symbolic of a struggling new Panama.
Jesus Christ was born 2,000 years ago under very humble circumstances, just like these people here. The new republic is born under these conditions.
Panama's Archbishop thanked God for new beginnings, and though it was the American invasion that displaced them, most here thanked the U.S. as well.
Bless the America.
I lost everything, but I don't care. Why? Because I know that something better will come.
But authorities know they are fighting time. The goodwill toward the invasion and the new government could fade fast if the nation's wounds are not quickly treated. There is a gaping hole to fill in Panama City this Christmas Day, an entire charred neighborhood where U.S. troops attacked and destroyed the headquarters of General Noriega's army. Some returned home today for the first time since the battle to recover what they could. Panama's economy was already suffering. Now there's a new problem, replenishing hundreds of stores stripped in an orgy of looting. Meanwhile, thousands of U.S. servicemen celebrated Christmas on patrol in a foreign land in the company of their visiting boss.
So I'm here simply on behalf of the President, on behalf of the country, to say thank you very much. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
In the refugee camp, Specialist 4 Andrew Powell switched roles for the day, from soldier to Santa Claus.
Well, Santa Claus is a little bit more fun. You're not ducking bullets and waiting for a mortar round to fall down on you.
But there were no mortar rounds in this camp today, just hundreds of efforts to improvise Christmas Day, to make it a day of new hope. David Dow, CBS News, Panama.
The bodies of 2 more U.S. soldiers killed in Panama were returned today to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. The Pentagon says officially 23 U.S. servicemen have been killed in action and 303 wounded in the invasion. Correspondent Bruce Morton looks at this Christmas Day as it was observed by some Americans who fought in Panama and by the American families who cherish them.
All over the country today, Americans prayed for their soldiers in Panama. At Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where a lot of those soldiers are based, Gail Slavin and the kids, Christopher and Allison, went to Mass. Their father is in Panama.
That God, with his gentle touch the families I've lost, sons in Panama.
Of course, we miss him. We understand why he's there, and we support that.
They did do well, presents and a tree, but 10-year-old Allison knew there were some things missing.
My dad cooking the ham and the turkey on Christmas Day.
We appreciate your service to the United States.
At the Wilfred Hall Medical Center in San Antonio, Army Secretary Michael Stone paid respects to some of the men who'd been wounded in Panama. They felt lucky this Christmas Day.
Very special Christmas. For the obvious reason that I'm here for Christmas, and that
one of my men who came very close is here, and my family's here to see me.
Sergeant Walter Thompson had a Purple Heart like the others and an American flag patch he'll never forget. It was on his uniform. A Panamanian bullet tore it in half.
The round went through, and the round split it in half.
And in Detroit, wounded 20-year-old Jimmy Hankins was home with his folks.
I'd prefer to have been home under better circumstances, but I am glad that I'm home.
His father knows about combat. He fought in Vietnam.
It's a hell of a way to come home with a Purple Heart.
Care for the wounded, prayers for the dead, and for the young men still on duty in uneasy Panama. At Fort Bragg, home of the 82nd Airborne, there's a statue of a paratrooper. Someone today put Christmas flowers at its feet. Bruce Morton, CBS News, Washington.
See you. There. How's that? Is that okay? Sure it is.